Chapter 51. Borrowing a chicken to lay an egg. Righteous Father, why didn't you ask the Bodhisattva of merciful life for help with the king's sex troubles? Gukin frowned as he looked at the diminishing dot in the distance. Some favors can be owed, some cannot. Guhai shook his head and said, "Oh," Gukin said doubtfully. "Besides, for the king's sect, we may not need the Bodhisattva of merciful life, so why should we bother him?" Guhai laughed. "But the king's sect is guarded by a large formation, and there are spirit stone mines outside the king's sect. But the spirit stones must have all been taken away by Song Shengpingor. The only thing left there is the mine, and I don't know how long it will take to slowly mine it. Without spirit stones, how can Righteous Father set up a formation?" Gukin frowned. "There will be spirit stones." Guhai's eyes narrowed slightly and said, "Oh, forgot what our ancient mansion is for." Guhai laughed. "My ancient mansion? A merchant, borrowing chickens to lay eggs?" Gukin's expression twitched. "Not bad. Many truths in the world are similar. Why not borrow what we need? Give enough interest, won't that be enough?" Guhai affirmed. "But who to borrow from? Us?" Gukin's face was complicated, but in the next moment, his expression moved. "Righteous Father, are you saying, with those cultivators who are spying on my ancient mansion, those cultivators who are preparing to snatch the 100 longevity peach to borrow it?" Gukin looked at Guhai in shock. "Why not?" Guhai laughed. "But, fine." Gukin revealed a trace of bitterness. "You can look at this as a sale. If we capture the king's sect, won't we have a constant supply of spirit stones? At that time, if we then pay double the amount of spirit stones we borrowed, we would still have made a profit, wouldn't we? Don't get too entangled, just look at it as a sale. That's all." Guhai said in a deep voice. "Yes. Go and do it quickly. Borrow it in my name. Borrow it in the name of the One Piece Hall. Use the 100 longevity peach as the repayment collateral. I'll place the 100 longevity peach at a conspicuous location." Guhai said in a deep voice. "Yes." 1 hour later, all the cultivators located outside the ancient mansion heaved a post from the ancient mansion. "Quick, come and see. The 100 longevity peach." Guhai took it out. A cultivator shouted from a distance. Steeply, a large number of cultivators heard the sound and gathered around. However, they saw that where the ancient mansion was, it was still shrouded by the cloud mist grand formation. However, at the edge of this cloud mist formation, a high platform was set up, and on top of the platform, a golden peach was placed. The peach was close at hand. As long as you jumped up, you could get the general. But at this moment, no one dared to grab it. One by one, their faces were complicated as they looked at the 100 longevity peach that was set out. 100 longevity peach? Is it really the 100 longevity peach? The person who came just now said to me that Guhai wants to borrow spirit stones from us. The loan period is 1 month, and after 1 month, it will be doubled and returned. Are you kidding? Guhai is borrowing spirit stones from us. After a month, double it. The peach is a hostage for all to guard. The reputation of the whole of One Piece should be correct. Is there a need to borrow spirit stones? A lot of cultivators show a skeptical look, looking at the not too far away from the 100 longevity peach. Eyes are greedy. But under the greed, but no one dares to go to snatch the general. By now, the crowd knew that they couldn't just grab it if they wanted to. Guhai borrowing spirit stones. Guhai was in the Dafeng Gang and robbed so many spirit stones. It's not enough. Yeah, he's thinking good thoughts. I'm definitely not borrowing. Many people were unwilling, but there were those who were willing. The ancient mansion set up a table outside the large formation, and one ancient mansion servant was at the side, responsible for writing the loan. Some villains were responsible for protecting them at the side. Is it true that after a month, it doubles? A cultivator went to a daze. You can go and ask around, since my master said it. there can be a time when he didn't honor it. At that days was an old shopkeeper, his eyes rolling as he said, "Then I'll borrow 10 lower grade spirit stones to try." That cultivator thought about it and said, "I'm sorry," my master said, 10 middle grade spirit stones to start with, no less." "Trouble registering," that old shopkeeper said with a look in his eyes. "What?" The opposite cultivator immediately stared. 10 medium grade spirit stones is 1,000 lower grade spirit stones. This Guhai had such a big appetite. 1 month later, "Return you 20 middle grade spirit stones. Where have you come across this good thing?" "It's only my master. The reputation of the first grade hall. You don't even believe in it anymore." "Hurry up, hurry up. If you don't borrow, don't block the people behind you," the old shopkeeper said coldly. "Yes, if you don't borrow, I'll come, just for this 100 longevity peach. I can borrow it too. Yes, just because of the reputation of Yipintang, I can also borrow it." A group of people in the back clamored, some of them, but still some from amongst the wicked, pretending to be ordinary cultivators in the back. "Who says I won't borrow?" One top grade spirit stone. The cultivator's eyes glared and said, "One top grade spirit stone. 1 month later, return 2, signed and sealed. Go over there and sign the giant's IOU," the old shopkeeper said in a deep voice. That cultivator signed a bunch of things in a haphazard manner, took a copy of the debit note, and was led to a huge silk cloth on the side. Compared to the debit note, wrote his name once more on that huge silk cloth, and then no one paid any attention to it. That cultivator grabbed an IOU and looked at it, his face complex for a while. "Can you really ask for it after a month? Senior brother, you actually borrowed a top grade spirit stone, or will you be able to ask for it back then?" A nearby cultivator curiously said, "Nonsense. I don't trust Guhai. Do I still not trust One Piece Hall? One Piece Hall will renege on the debt. In a month's time, it'll be to top grade spirit stones. Why don't you guys go now?" "Silly," the cultivator shouted. In the blink of an eye, the person who had borrowed the spirit stone, firming up his mind, began to encourage the others to go. With a start, everything that followed went much smoother. In the ancient mansion, on the sky-rushing tower, Guhai quietly looked at the noisy scene outside. "Righteous Father, your name is bought even by these cultivators," Gukin laughed. "No, it's not because of my name that I can borrow it. It's the name of the One Piece Hall, and the name of the One Piece Hall is credibility. This is not enough. Next, use the 100 longevity peach to show my sincerity. Next, put up a huge IOU to give them supervision and lower their guard. Lastly, doubling the exorbitant interest in a month to entice them before they borrowed the spirit stones. I paid too much. My risk is greater than all of theirs. This is a big no-no for us merchants. And yet, I had to do it." Guhai shook his head and sighed. 3 days later, the borrowing and lending closed. Outside the ancient mansion, a huge lone silk cloth with names written all over it was exhibited for all to monitor. Secondly, the 100 longevity peach was placed in front of everyone as a pledge. Countless cultivators were waiting with their own thoughts. Guhai brought 3,000 villains, but quietly left the ancient mansion, heading towards King's Sect. King's Sect. Snap. A vase was slapped to the ground by Song Shengping. Song Shengping was filled with annoyance. "Guhai, he lied to me. The war letter is fake. He went to the Song Armor Sect," Song Shengping said with an ugly face. The group of Song Armor Sect disciples in front of him bowed their heads. "You bunch of losers. If it wasn't for my Fu coming, I would still be kept in the dark until now," Song Shengping said in annoyance. On the side, Fu Blood sat on a chair, sipping tea and coldly looking at everything in front of him. "All right, Patriarch Song, this is not the time to talk about this. Has that old bastard, the King Patriarch, confessed yet?" Song Shengping suppressed the anger in his heart, took a deep breath, and shook his head. "Not yet," hard-mouthed. "Hard. Then waste some more effort. Fu Blood's eyes glowed with a hint of gloom. Oh, he is at the Yuanying realm, transforming him. But it will consume me a lot. However, for the sake of the dragon vein, it must be clarified. Bring me over. I will transform him, Fu Blood said in a cold voice. Good, Song Shengping answered. 2 days later, once again this great hall, Fu Blood and Song Shengping sat together, and both of them had a gloomy look on their faces. Entered the netherworld. That lunar master is a trouble. There's also that unborn man. Fu Blood's face was gloomy as he said. He also doesn't know how Master Liu Nian came back. He only knows that he must have returned from somewhere in the King's sect. What a trouble. If we knew where they were returning, we could ambush them in advance and capture Master Liu Nian as well. Song Shengping frowned. Keep searching. Search all the places up and down King's sect, Fu Blood said in a deep voice. Song Shengping nodded. There's the Bodhisattva of Mercy at the ancient sea, however. Looking at that Bodhisattva of Mercy's attitude towards me, it means that he doesn't want to get involved in our affairs. So that's good. It's just that the ancient mansion can't be broken into. Fu Blood frowned. Gu Hai went to the Song Jia sect once. Will he go a second time? With Gu Hai's fraudulent tactics, can the sect's disciples not be deceived? Fu Blood's face sank as he said, That's right. So I have to go back, and you have to be careful as well. He might come to King's sect as well. I'll sit in King's sect. You sit in Songjia sect. It's better to be careful. If I had known that Gu Hai was so difficult to deal with, I should have destroyed him before, Song Shengping said in a cold voice. Fu Blood nodded. Stepping forward, he flew out of the hall and quickly flew towards the Song Armor sect. Song Shengping looked at Fu Blood's departing back. His eyes narrowed slightly. Fu Blood, I have staked the entire Song Armor sect. Don't disappoint me. The Dragon Vein. For the sake of the Dragon Vein, it's worth it to lose even more. In the middle of the mountain forest, Gu Hai was in the middle of a fast run with 3,000 villains. My lord, the 100 longevity peach is placed there. Will it be lost? Chen Chonshan said with some worry. The crowd just walked away, and the 100 longevity peach was placed within everyone's reach. Yet, although a large number of spirit stones had been borrowed, the large number of spirit stones simply could not compare to the value of the 100 longevity peach. No need to worry. Everyone help me guard it. It can't be lost, Gu Hai said in a deep voice. Yes. Besides, if you don't, how can I help you save sect leader King? I know that the 100 longevity peach is precious, but who can we sell it to for a short period of time in exchange for so many spirit stones? Without so many spirit stones, how can we break through the King sect's great formation? Let's hope that Patriarch King is still alive. Gu Hai shook his head and said, Yes, many thanks, my lord, Chen Chonshan said gratefully.